All right, welcome back. We're on lesson 14 in A Course in Miracles in the workbook. And the lesson for today is God did not create a meaningless world. The idea for today is, of course, the reason why a meaningless world is impossible. What God did not create does not exist. And everything that does exist exists as He created it. So powerful. The world you see has nothing to do with reality. It is of your own making and it does not exist. The exercises for today are to be practiced with eyes closed throughout. The mind searching period should be short, a minute at most. Do not have more than 3 practice periods with today's idea unless you find them comfortable. If you do, it will be because you really understand what they are for. The idea for today is another step in learning to let go of the thoughts that you have written on the world and see the world of God in their place. The early steps in this exchange, which can truly be called salvation, can be quite difficult and even quite painful. Some of them will lead you directly into fear. You will not be left there. You will go far beyond it. Our direction is toward perfect safety and perfect peace. With eyes closed, think of all of the horrors in the world that cross your mind. Name each one as it occurs to you, and then deny its reality. God did not create it, and so it is not real. Say, for example, God did not create that war, and so it is not real. God did not create that airplane crash, and so it is not real. God did not create that disaster, specify, and so it is not real. Suitable subjects for the application of today's idea also include anything you are afraid might happen to you or to anyone about whom you are concerned. In each case, name the disaster quite specifically. Do not use general terms. For example, do not say, God did not create illness, but God did not create cancer or heart attacks or whatever may arouse fear in you. This is your personal repertory of horrors at which you are looking. These things are part of the world you see. Some of them are shared illusions, and others are part of your personal hell. It does not matter. What God did not create can only be in your own mind apart from His. Therefore, it has no meaning. In recognition of this fact, conclude the practice periods by repeating today's idea. God did not create a meaningless world. The idea for today can, of course, be applied to anything that disturbs you during the day, aside from the practice periods. Be very specific in applying it. Say, God did not create a meaningless world. He did not create, and then specify the situation which is disturbing you. And so it is not real. I love this lesson. Can you tell? I love this lesson because it's like we're really starting to get into the nitty-gritty of things. We spoke in the last lesson about how what God creates is eternal and real with a capital R, and what the sons of God make is not eternal, and therefore, from the Course perspective and from really metaphysical training, does not exist. It is not real. Now, I know what you're thinking. Everybody's going to go, well, that war is real. There are children dying and there are bombs and it's horrible. It's horrendous. I can't even, and I get it. I so get it. I so get it. We can get really drawn into the things in the world that are despicable, the human dysfunction, the competition, the comparison. I mean, just there's all sorts of it. But it's not real in that it is not eternal. Now, the world serves its purpose. The world is here for us to move through it. I think I've spent a lot of time in my life thinking, well, I'm here to change the world. And I've really come to this understanding that I'm really not here to change it. I'm here to change my perception of it. And that's where the healing happens. And that's where it's like the yogis say, we hold the sword of discrimination. We can see between conditioned thoughts and experiences and universal truth. And when we begin to practice these lessons, to practice yoga, to start to open our minds to metaphysical understanding, we see that we're the ones making the decisions on what we focus on. So it's not to say totally ignore the world. It's so sad that that's happening, but whatever, it's not happening to me. That is not what the Course is asking us to do. It's saying God didn't create this. You did. And then the deeper cut would be, in what ways are you at war within yourself? And let's heal that. Let's create a meaningful world for you, the reality that you live in, the universe that you're involved in, the relationships that you have. How do we heal those aspects of your reality first? And then let's see. If everybody's doing that, there's no need for war. The problem is that not everybody is doing that, right? So I really do appreciate the second piece of this lesson that is also asking us to look at our personal repertory of horrors, the things that we are personally afraid of. So it says, God did not create cancer, therefore it is not real. So as someone who has had cancer, you know, I get this on both levels. Like I can see, yeah, on one hand it was real, but on the other it wasn't. It did not touch the truth of who I was. It affected my body, my emotions, my experience, but the essence of who I was and who I am has not been changed by what God did not create. We are not at the effect of that which God did not create. Okay? So if God did not create a meaningless world, we are not at the effect of that. And so it's not real. Only love is real. I look forward to seeing you in the next lesson. Here's one thing I will say about all of this. Just let it marinate. It doesn't need to make sense. You don't need to agree. We've spoken about that a lot. You might actively disagree. You might want to argue. Feel free to comment. I'll be happy to do my best to help, move through some of these difficult ideas. But really, you don't need to understand it in your mind logically. You just what happens with spiritual content and writings and books and so forth is that they're working with us on another level. So just let this idea sit with you throughout the day, be with it, and allow it to soften the corners of your mind. Namaste.